Hello everyone, it's been a little while. I've had a few things going on. I've had a bit of a break from spiritual work. So I had a holiday and then I had managed to pick the COVID up on through probably from the plane. So I've had a bit longer of a break than I thought, and still back into all my spiritual work now as usual. And I've been having the little nagging from my guides to Mary wishes to come through and give a message. So I was sort of driving back from the school run this morning saying, well, what's this about today then? And I got the information that it's about the spiritual journey, the human journey with the spiritual journey, and some information on trance. So that's all I got. So obviously what I'll do is I will go down into trance. I'll put on I put onto YouTube, I put on there the amount, the time when she comes through, so you don't have to sit and watch me for 5 minutes, you can fast forward it. So people find that helpful. And I just wanted to take this opportunity as well to thank everybody who follows me and follows my trance work and my spiritual work and my mentoring. So I'm very grateful for all of that. Thank you. That's right. The other thing is I'm on a main road, so if you get any background noise like the police siren shooting through, it's just where I live. So yeah, hopefully not today. I'll see you in a bit. Greetings. It's been a little while. Well, in the human world anyway. I like to say hello. I am known as Mary to you. And for those that have not seen me before, I'm a Salutarian. And I come from a collective realm of energy in the 10th dimension. And there's many of us that work with the human beings on Earth. This sitter, known as Sharon to you, also has a guide called John, who's from the same place I am from. But for your understanding, he's also a trance guide. But he's stepped aside a little bit now, and he stays involved in the teachings, like the workshops and the trance teachings, so that side of things. So we will talk about that in a little bit. First of all, I want to come and talk to you about your human life, your spiritual life. Sometimes these are understood as two entities of energy, the human path, the spiritual path. But I give you this, my friends, it is one. From the moment you breathe, conceived, the soul energy, the higher self connection is created within the womb, your spiritual existence has started. Your ethereal self has blended, and the ethereal self is connected to the quantum domain, creative energy of the universe, which some of you have translated into God. This is an energy all-consuming, all-inspiring, forever expanding, forever growing, and an amazing knowledge source for the universe and all intelligent beings that exist within it. The ethereal body is connected to this, and the physical body that cannot exist without it. Your physical body is energy and cells, and it is held together with this energy, which is now trying to be understood by your science. And yet they still are baffled by it. Your spiritual path starts from before your human physical creation. A plan is put together. A plan of how you are going to exist. What are you going to come here to learn? How can you help humanity? You come here to help others as well as self. But there's the challenge, is it not? You're living a human life in a 3D energy concept, perspective, existence. That is the challenge. How can you rise above the energy of the 3D reality to learn and grasp the spiritual knowledge and growth you need to ascend while here on earth, so that when you return to the higher sources in the cosmos, your home of existence, the light, your ethereal body, you will have learnt and ascended through this path you have chosen on earth. Now, some may say and argue against this because of the fear and the doubt. Those that come to murder, those that come to commit crimes. Yes, it is all planned at the moment. They are the catalyst for spiritual growth. The persons who have lost children through suicide, who then build a charity and march the lands and walk to raise money and awareness so other teenagers and young people do not fall into that same trap. Your world is full of catalyst events. And this is because you are still in a 3D reality, my friends. You are still in this 3D reality where this still has to happen. So your spiritual growth has to steer through this. You have challenges within your own personal lives, as well as worrying about what everybody else is doing. And you need to take this focus within. Rediscover the soul connection with the higher self. Find out who you are. Understand the layers of your existence, ethereal, physical, the quantum layers of the universe, all connected as one. The ripple effect here by doing this is felt in the far distance of the universe. You must not be conceited and think there's just humans. There's more to this universe. There are celestial beings of all different types. You could understand it as creeds, physical, light, all understanding, not all working in the light, may I add. But we deal with that on a daily basis. But many of us work in what you'd understand as the light. So what is the light? What is the light to humanity? The light is working from the heart, working for the better of others, working for self, which then helps others. And what do I mean by working for self? Keeping healed, understanding the life you've lived to now, there's been a purpose on a spiritual path of learning and ascension. Even if you've suffered severe trauma in your life, there's still been a purpose to it. And the purpose might be to share this out to other people so they understand they're not alone in this path. And the wonderful thing we see for humanity as you grow and ascend and change and understand what I'm saying is eventually you will not need these lessons. Humans will excel. You'll become cellular different. you're about to manifest for the good, your bodies will alter into a lighter state of being. You will not be in your restricted, heavy, 3D, time-restricted way of thinking. Your minds will expand. And what an awesome day that would be for us and humanity. Now, it might be hard for you to understand if you're listening to this and you do not really understand the spiritual journey that you're on. And you might think, looking around you at your human race, well, what on earth is she talking about? I don't see that among humans. But out of the billions of you, there are thousands that are seeing it, that are seeing the light. And it is forever expanding within the human race. And one day, probably through trauma, through Earth and to humans, which seems to be the only way in this 3D reality you seem to be listening, like with the COVID awakening time period, humans will awaken, and there will be a point where they will not slip back into their 3D reality way of restrictive thinking. They will start to see supporting each other, supporting other countries, creeds. As religions break down within this, because that is what will happen, humans become into one spiritual way of understanding. We're not talking another religion here. We're talking of a knowing that life can be different, life can be better through our behavior, through our actions, through your actions. And we are here to guide you. Me coming here today is to give you this information yet again, because it's been given many times over thousands of years. This is nothing new. I've been here before doing this. I haven't got fed up with it because I have faith. I have faith in you. I have faith in humanity. So your spiritual path is one. One with you, one with us, one with the universe. One with your source of creation, which could be anywhere in the cosmos. So how does this link with trance, do I hear you say? You were going to talk about trance, I understand. Yes, I was. Trance is part of the spiritual growth of humanity. And this is why we're bringing this to many light workers, like the sitter, and many others out there with the spiritual growth. They are teaching light worker channeler methods. Some of you might understand this as mediumship or psychic, but we would like to call it light worker channelers / communicators. And this is to bring it into the ethos of the light with the quantum domain energy. We work in the light. This is to bring a language that we all understand. Because if you go back and you remember I said bringing from the 3D reality into the 4th and 5th for humanity to change, it's not just your behaviour that has to change. It is your understanding of the language that you use. It all has to become one. As religions disperse, the language will change. We will become the light, you will be saying. We understand now that when we pass, we are the light. We understand the soul and higher self connection. This is what you will be saying to yourself in the future. If only we listened 300 years ago, 1,000 years ago, how Earth would have changed. There's going to be challenges ahead for you, my friends. And we bring the trance energy for this understanding. We have many ways that we channel through you at different levels of energy. We use what we try to say to you in your language is harmonic sound. This is frequencies throughout the universe. We can channel into them, and this is quite often the ways we help to communicate, like today. We bring in colorways. Color is a vibrational energy, and you can see this in your human form. Yes, you are restricted in your color expanse that you see, but when you return to the light, You will see many colours way beyond your understanding that you understand now. And these are frequencies and colourways that we use, again, to connect and help. And these frequencies of sound and light are all there to help with this breakdown of your 3D reality. And the way we channel is we use these at different levels for humanity. Because every human is at a different level of ascension and frequency. Those that are light worker channelers, that have worked hard with us and have elevated themselves and their cell structure started to change and they're telepathically linking with us to communicate like I'm doing now, will have a different frequency. So we will work on a higher frequency with them, with a higher understanding. Those starting on the journey and starting to think, hang on a minute, there's something else here. I wonder what it is. I'll just go to my local spiritual church. They might be drawn to have a reading. There'll be a light bulb moment, my friends. They were on a lower frequency, so we'll bring a frequency in that they understand and cope with. And hence, these frequencies are going like this all the time around Earth as we try to adjust and ascend humanity. So these are different levels of channeling. Light worker channelers, psychic levels, healers, trance. Those are channel knowledge for books. Again, it's a different frequency. And this is what you're really, to be honest, are lacking knowledge of. And there's many teachers out there who think they know, but they don't. They really have not thought out of the box. It's the example of trance. I shall give you this example. If you as a teacher of trance believe that you have a sitter and they, for example, bring through a guide to talk, and yet they have some memory of it and they recall some of it, and they might have sensed the guide or seen the guide, or they might have some sort of visionary going on with it. They are in trance. They are connected to the celestial realms, you might call it spirit, for those that are not in the new language yet. There is this belief that unless you have no memory, and yet you can talk this knowledge coming from us, that you're not in trance. Well, to be quite honest with you, that's a complete load of rubbish. And I get frustrated when I hear these things, when I hear this on the earth plane. What you have to understand, the trance has many layers, from very light trance to really deep trance, which then goes even deeper to bring in those physical anomalies. And sometimes you can be in lighter trance and they still have these phenomena going on. Every human is an individual and unique, and they will interpret the trance energy. We will enhance their levels as they grow and sit, and all will be different. There is no black box you sit in and don't remember anything. I would say to you that if you do not recall anything from your trance experience, that perhaps you were asleep or faking, because there is recall. So I want you to understand the celestial connection, the blending, if you wish to call it that, comes in through the back area of the head, which some see as another chakra. It comes into the subconscious. We connect with the language of the human being, the mind. We connect with every little detail, feelings, everything they've experienced. So in the lighter trance stages, the sitter will start to speak, and they will have awareness, because they'll be like, oh, is this me? Is it them? Is it me? Is it them? And it's like a little yo-yo for us. And we have this little yo-yo going on. So we're trying to communicate, and the human mind is going boing, 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 boing. It is tricky for us. But we do get some words out and some wisdom. And this can be recognized as the person that is speaking, or allowing us to speak through them, would not say those words in life. And it can be a different tone, a different way. And as our sitter grows and becomes more confident and trusting of our energies, they'll become less aware of what they're saying. They will go deeper. They will stand aside. Some might recall images or flashes of what was said. That's normal. It is what we expect on the growth of the telepathic connection, which is what trance is, my friends. If you were an elevated celestial being, telepathically communicating with another elevated celestial being without any spoken words, you would fully recall everything you said and felt in that conversation. Do you get the picture? So when you say, oh, you've not connected because you remember things, you are connected. You're connected at different levels, and this has to be understood. And I please beg you to share this video out amongst yourselves, and just have confidence in what is being said from us. Because we are here to help you. But what we're finding at the moment is humans are not listening. They're just not listening to us. Even those teaching trance and mediumship in your world, they're not listening. You must start thinking out of the box. Start understanding that there's other ways. Now, you'll be taught to a certain point that you felt safe with. Then you'll get to a point as a teacher of knowledge, well, where do I go from here? And you can either stay as you are and say, this is the way, this is it, or there's no way. Everybody else is wrong. Or you say, okay, it's time to grow. It's time for me to start listening to other people, other guides. It's time for me to question what I've done is correct up to now. The students I've had through me are learning, but they need to ascend. They need to expand beyond what you've taught. Did you see the picture, my friends? Do you see what I'm saying? And unless you make these changes and start to think your process, you're going to leave this earth plane at the level you're at. And you're going to be frustrated when you get over here, I tell you that now. You'll think, why didn't I listen? Why did I not make that change? Why did I not listen when Mary said on that video? Why did I not listen to her? Because she was right. Now I take you to the trance book we've channeled. It's all in there, my friends. Buy it, read it, learn from it. Do not be afraid that you listen to another fellow worker's information. Because how do you think this one has developed to where she is now? Workshops, listening to other teachers of knowledge. And then John came 5 or plus years ago and brought her the new knowledge. It might not be on Google back then, but it is now. Many are starting to understand what we're saying. Why this change now, perhaps you're saying? We've taught this way for 20, 30 years. Why should I change now? Because how's humanity going to ascend? How are you going to change? You need to get out of this grip you're in of being afraid of change. And believe me, if you are now listening to this video and you haven't switched it off yet, it's because your spiritual path has taken you to this point. No matter how elevated you are, how well renowned you are in your spiritual area of work or life, if you've listened to this video, it's time to sit back and say, okay, I need to now reset. I need to now listen. I've got all of this knowledge, you'll be saying to yourself. I've had all of this knowledge given me over the years. It has not been wrong, because that knowledge has been giving us a level for teaching for humans at those levels that needed it. If you got a new human today who suddenly wants to do trance but has no spiritual knowledge at all, and we suddenly put her up in a high ascended understanding, they'll probably fry their brain and run for the hills. So it's a gradual process for humanity over the years. But what we're saying to you is not wrong what you've been doing or understanding from your point of view and for those around you, because it's managed to elevate many, 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 many humans to a point of a higher understanding. So it's a bit like the channeling energy. The teachings have had to come in different ways. But now we're going, stop, listen. It's changing. And unless you brace this, unless you follow that spiritual growth that's within your heart, and you start to listen to us, you will not change. We'll keep bringing you the people at the level that suits you. But do you really want to stay at that level, my friends? Or would you like to expand your minds and your teachings? And if the answer is yes, then I suggest you start listening. That is what I've come to say. Blunt as usual, but that's the way I am. I thank again, following on from what Sharon said earlier before I arrived. Thank you for those that follow and listen. Thank you for those that just take perhaps 1 minute of this and think, oh yes, I'm going to start listening. I'm going to start asking my own guides to guide me in a higher direction. I want to ascend. I want to be here and do the best I can for humanity. It's not for our sake. It's for your sake. We're just here to guide you. We're here to support you. We've got your back, as the phrase goes on earth. So I shall leave that with you. And I shall see you again soon, I do believe. Thank you for listening. Ah, wow. Hello. Well, as usual, if you've watched any others, just have a big drink. I'll play it back and check it's okay to put out. Not that I don't trust my guides, but yeah. Okay, well, I hope the message is good, and well, I know I complete trust in my guides. If Mary wanted to come through and give a message, it's because it's really well needed. And I probably learned something from it as well. So there you go. Never stop developing on this path we take. So cool. I'll see you again soon, everybody. Again, thanks for following. Please subscribe and share. Let's get this knowledge out there. How else are we going to change the world we live in unless we start not being afraid to share things and help each other? Okay, so take care. Bye.